He was alone, broken, and moments from death. His ribs pressed against his skin, his mane hung in tatters. By every law of the wild, this lion's story should have ended in silence. But then, a man appeared, and what happened when their paths crossed would stun the world. Lions, the kings of the savannah, symbols of strength, unity, and power. But behind their roar lies a reality few ever see. A world where even kings fall, where weakness means death, where survival is a brutal lottery. This is the story of a lion no one expected to survive, and the man who refused to let him die. Together, they rewrote what we thought we knew about bonds between humans and wild beasts. Together, they proved that compassion can defy even nature's harshest rules. It began on the edge of a remote reserve. Rangers spotted a lion lying motionless in the dust. At first, they thought he was dead, but then his head lifted, slowly, painfully. A faint growl escaped his throat. He was alive, but barely. His mane was patchy, his frame skeletal, wounds covered his body. He was too weak to hunt, too broken to fight. Abandoned by his pride, he was a ghost among kings. The man's name was Daniel, a wildlife conservationist who had spent decades tracking lions. He knew the laws of nature do not interfere, but as he looked into the lion's eyes, something shifted. What he saw was not a predator, it was a plea. Approaching a wild lion is madness. Even dying, they can kill with one strike. Daniel hesitated. His team warned him, leave the lion, let nature run its course. But he couldn't, not this time. Against all rules, he made a choice. He would try to save him. It began with water. The lion's tongue, cracked and dry, lapped slowly. Then food, small pieces of meat, placed carefully on the ground. At first, the lion growled, instinct battling weakness. But hunger won. Each bite was a fragile victory. Nights were the hardest. Hyenas circled, drawn by the scent of weakness. Daniel kept them away with firelight and noise. The lion, too weak to defend himself, watched in silence. Trust was forming slowly, cautiously. Scientists tell us that lions, like humans, respond to trust through chemistry. When fear decreases, oxytocin, the bonding hormone, rises. It creates the possibility of connection where instinct once screamed danger. For this lion, Daniel was not prey. He was something else, a guardian. Days turned into weeks. The lion gained weight. His wounds began to heal. His eyes, once hollow, burned with fire again. Each step was shaky, but it was progress. Against all odds, he was coming back. They were never master and pet, never man and captive. They were equals, bound by something unexplainable. Daniel spoke softly. The lion listened. And sometimes, when silence stretched between them, it felt like understanding. One day, the lion tried to hunt again. Weakness pulled him down. He failed. Daniel watched, torn. Should he help or step back? He chose silence. The lion needed this. To be king again, he had to win on his own. And then he did. A successful kill, blood on his mane, strength in his roar. The savannah shook as if welcoming back its prince. Daniel knew the time had come. The lion no longer needed him. He was healthy, powerful, ready to rejoin the wild. Watching him go was like losing a friend, but it was also the greatest victory. The forgotten lion was forgotten no more. And then, the unbelievable happened. Weeks later, Daniel saw him again, this time, not alone. He had joined a pride, not as an outcast, not as a scavenger, but as a leader. The lion, once at death's edge, was now king. Stories like this force us to question everything we assume about animals. Empathy, memory, even gratitude, traits we once claimed as uniquely human live in them too. Neurobiology shows us lions remember faces, voices, even kindness. Perhaps this is why, when Daniel found him again, the lion did not attack. He bowed his head, as if remembering, the lion's survival was not just luck. It was trust between species, proof that even in the harshest corners of the earth, compassion can spark miracles. A dying lion, a man who refused to walk away. Together, they wrote a story the savannah will never forget. But remember this: the wild is never predictable. The lion's reign will one day be challenged, another storm will come. And when it does, will his story end as a king, or will he be forgotten once more? If this story moved you, share it. Let the world see the power of compassion across species. Subscribe to Triller Pictures for more stories that prove love, survival, and memory belong to every living creature.